have you balanced on a toilet roll, a roll of bin bags, a cup that I found in a cupboard, a camera lens, and then a camera. I obviously didn't think it was necessary to bring a tripod, despite the fact that there is nothing here. I don't know what to say. Well, I bought a flat, which does not feel like a sentence I should be saying. I own this property. I honestly don't know what this is going to be. I think I'm just going to stand and talk to you for a while. I'm currently standing in my flat that I bought with my money. As Taylor Swift would say, in the house that, what did she say? In the house that I bought with the money that I earned from the songs that I wrote, is that it? It's not, I'm saying I bought a flat, and currently it doesn't feel real. And also I wanted to do this sitting down, but because I completely forgot that I would need a tripod for this camera because I haven't done YouTube since the pandemic, I completely forgot that, so it's actually not going to work, so I'm stood. I'm presenting to you here today. So where do we begin? I don't know. Okay, I think what we're going to do, we're going to do a timeline of how we got here, because I have no plans for this video. I just sort of wanted to say, I bought this one belongs to me. Autumn of 2024, I started thinking, I want to buy a property. How on earth do I do that? I didn't say anything to anyone. I mean, I didn't put it online that I was even trying to buy a property until I think it was January of 2025 when the first one fell through. I got given a mortgage advisor. This is not educational, by the way. I'm just telling a story. Spoke to a mortgage advisor and he said, yeah, okay. Give me this, give me that. This is how much you can borrow. I had no idea whether he was going to tell me I couldn't afford a property in London, whether I could even get a mortgage. I'm self-employed. I actually am self-employed but in a weird way. Road noise, I'm going to contend with that. I ended the second call with the mortgage advisor and he basically said to me, okay, go and find a house then. And it was so weird because it was like this thing I have always been dreaming of. It was like, oh, okay, so I do 2 phone calls with a man and then all of a sudden it's like, go and view properties. So I was like, well, okay, then I will. And I did, and I viewed 2. And the second one I fell in love with. And I fell in love with it because of the condition that it was in. It had been newly renovated and really to a style that I liked. I put an offer in and that first offer was rejected. I put another offer in, it was accepted. And I thought, wow, easiest way to buy a house ever. Everyone says this is so hard. It's fine. No, it's not. The first one fell through because the mortgage lender valuation on the property, which was an in-person valuation, came back at about £20,000 less than the offer they had accepted, and they weren't willing to compromise. For anyone that doesn't know about that process, a mortgage lender will do like a very basic survey on the property to check that it's worth what you're paying for it, so that they can say that they can confidently lend on it. And they said, yeah, no, we'll lend on it, but we'll lend on it to this value. It had obviously been overvalued because of the work that they had done to it. In hindsight, it was a much smaller flat than they ended up buying. And it was a lucky escape, I think. I then went back to the drawing board, January 2025, started looking at more properties. There were like Saturdays where I would either take one of my friends or I would take my mum, and we would go and we would view like 3-4 flats in a day. Then I found flat number 2. Flat number 2 came on the market at 7 p.m. one day. I phoned at 9 a.m. the next day and said, can I view that please? He said, yeah, could you come at 12:15? I was outside the door at 12:10. I viewed it, I put in an offer, and it sold to a cash buyer on the same day. Never got an offer accepted, but I really see that as one, because I offered on it, I really feel like that's a flat that like, I really wanted that flat. I like that flat a lot, but ultimately I do think this one's better. Funny thing was about that flat, the estate agent said to me, because I told him why I liked all of the things about it. Like I said, I love like the light, I love the space, I love the fact that that had a garage and loads of stuff. He said to me, oh, well, actually, I know that there is another vacant flat in this building. Do you want to look at that one? I think the owner would sell it. It was empty. So I was like, yeah. So then it was the following week, I viewed that one. I had an offer accepted on that one after some negotiation, like a couple different scenarios of negotiation. She accepted that offer. 6 weeks went past. She still hadn't instructed solicitors. I was getting annoyed because I was like, I want to buy your house, but you're not selling it to me and it's empty. So what's the problem? After 6 weeks, the stamp duty threshold had changed So I was now going to be paying stamp duty, and she asked me for, I think it was £15,000 more than what I had offered. But by that point, stamp duty had come in and all of that stuff. So I was like, no girl, you can't mess me around like this. No. It was like the world's worst YouTube video. Anyway, the woman who was selling that flat drove me a bit nuts. She drove the estate agent a bit nuts. And eventually I had to say no, like I actually can't afford to pay £15,000 more and stamp duty because that needed extensive renovation as well. There's a hint. So I said no, I'm gonna have to let that go. Back to the drawing board we go. Back to the drawing board. I can't even remember, this was now spring. There was lots of flats that I looked at in time where you feel like you find the perfect flat. Like on Rightmove, it looks amazing. I just got my first piece of post. It's McDonald's. It's McDonald's vouchers. Yeah, I feel like I looked at some flats where they would come on Rightmove, because I would get the Rightmove alert. You would see them and you would think, this is it. This is perfect. And then you would turn up, and like I would call the estate agent. I would go, when can I view this? Because I knew like you had to be on it straight away. And I would say, when can I view this? I need to view this immediately. And then you do the viewing, and actually you'd leave feeling deflated because it looked so much nicer on Rightmove. Or I got to one and I loved it, and everything about it was amazing, and it was over budget, but a lot of places are put on slightly higher than they're expecting. So like it was over budget, but I thought there was maybe room for negotiation. And I got there and I didn't realize it had a lease issue, and they didn't specify that in the listing. And they got a load of people in who presumably thought there was no lease issue because the other part of this is complicated legal things, but like the freehold, it was a share of freehold property, and it was listed as having like a long lease and all of this stuff, but there was actually a leasehold issue with it, and they didn't specify that. So I came and everyone else came, and it stayed on the market for ages, and I think it went back on the market recently because it had a lease issue, and they just lie and they just don't tell you because they want you to get in and they want the offers. But then ultimately, if they're lying, you don't want to give them your money. Anyway, this place, it came on the market over budget, and I saw it one day and I didn't give much thought to it because it was over budget and I just didn't like the look of it, I don't think. This property then disappeared off Rightmove. I assumed that it sold. I had just looked at it briefly on Rightmove. I hadn't really considered it, but I knew that it was a great road, and I thought, oh, you know, I kind of skipped over that one. I should have really looked at that. And I drove past the road a couple of times with my mum in the car, and I said to my mum, oh, there was a flat that came up on that road, and that would have just been ideal. Like once you start looking and you kind of reevaluate what you want, you realize there are certain things you're willing to compromise on and there are certain things you are not willing to compromise on. And then it came back on the market and it had actually been reduced. So I think they had taken it off the market to reduce it. And then, because like, listen, it was never going to go for what it was on for. This place is quite a horror currently. And it came back on. And I think when it first went on the market, I inquired on it. So I got an email saying there had been like a lot of interest in the property, and they were going to do like 1 day of viewings for everyone, and you had to book a slot and then offers. So I took my friend Jess, and she came to look at this place with me, and it was like the day before I went to Disneyland. So she came with me, and I left and I said, listen, it's a bit horrible currently, but this is where the but comes in. What I have learned from looking at properties is that when you start out looking and you think you know what you want, you don't. You don't actually know. And you can get wowed walking into a property and it's lovely and it's new and it's great, but it's a bit small. But you say, oh my God, but it's so lovely and new, I want it. And you overlook the fact that it's a bit small. It being a bit small is important. And then you find one that's like lovely and new and done, but you realize that like it looks lovely and new and done on the surface, but actually the skirting boards are old, or actually the bathroom isn't done, it's just sort of acceptable and you change it anywhere. You know, you can find somewhere and it can be so nice. And I think the wow factor is where they get you sometimes, because you look at some places and they've got brand new kitchen and brand new bathroom, and you think, oh, perfect, I could just walk in here and move in. But then they might not be as good of a location. I found that a lot of the time, if I walked into a property and it was in a good condition, there were compromises elsewhere that were actually more important. And what I realized was that I should be prioritizing things that I cannot change. The inside of a property can be changed. The windows of a property can be changed. The kitchen can be changed. The bathroom can be changed. The flooring can be changed. Everything can be changed. Walls can be knocked down, which I'm not going to do. But ultimately, what I cannot change is the road that it is on, the parking spaces available, the transport links, the amenities nearby, and the square footage of the property. And that is how we ended up here. I got told that my offer was accepted when I was in Disneyland, which is so funny. I'm in the happiest place on earth, and the estate agent calls me and said my offer has been accepted. And to be honest, at the time I was a bit worried because I had had 2 offers accepted already and neither of them had worked out. And I actually just really didn't get my hopes up, because I was like, the first time I got the offer accepted, the second time I got the offer accepted, I was like over the moon because I'd had one fall through and that was my first one, so I didn't feel as kind of involved by that point. But by the time I'd had the second one accepted, I was so happy because I loved that property. And I just kind of felt a bit deflated. I was like, this is kind of, it is what it is. They've accepted the offer. Will anything come of this? I don't know. Because I learned from Kirsty Allsop on Location that actually an offer accepted in London doesn't always mean that that property's going to be yours. You would think it would, but it doesn't. I also just kept thinking that everyone was trying to scam me, because the first estate agent's emails kept getting hacked and kept sending me phishing links. Not ideal. I'm trying to part with my life savings here. My actual adult life savings. And you're sending me phishing links? Be serious right now. So then we end up here. This is not what I envisioned. I'll be honest. When I first started looking, I said I don't want a project. I don't want something that needs a lot of work. I just want to rip up these carpets so bad. God, it's a hell and a horror in there. Anyway, I did a second viewing. My mum came to view the property with her friend whilst I was in Disneyland because the offers were happening and I knew that they'd also had a different offer of full asking, that they weren't first-time buyers. So that was the only thing I had going for me. I was like, I'm here. I don't have a chain. I'm chain free. Let me have it. And they did. Then I came back with my builder and my dad. They are not the same person. Oh, also I crashed my car. Small detail. Came back from Disneyland. They accepted my offer. I believe it was, I can't remember the day actually. This Sunday I was in Disneyland. Monday, I was taking my mum somewhere and someone drove into me and we were in a car crash. When I was in the hospital, the estate agent said to me, hey, something about, I'd already said that I wanted to do a second viewing. He said, hey, can we organise your second viewing? And I said, yeah, so actually I've just crashed my car. I'm in the hospital right now. Sounds like when on Catfish, people say, I can't meet you, I've been in a car crash. I actually had. I'd been in a car crash. I wrote my car off. I didn't write my car off, somebody else wrote my car off. All of a sudden, I was hit with, I'm stood in A&E with my mum who's injured and I'm injured and my car has been written off, and all of a sudden somebody is asking me if I want to buy a house that needs a renovation and suddenly I have to buy a new car. It was like, are you joking? Like, how can I be in Disneyland, be in a car crash and buy a house all at the same time? So I had to text him and I had to say, provisionally, I will come on Saturday to do that second viewing, but just so you know, I am injured from a car crash. So I won't be able to drive, I'll have to get someone else to take me. So my dad came with my builder. My builder came, he looked around the place and he said, yes, it's fine. Ultimately, for him, it's a lot of work. So for him, he's going, oh, hey. Ultimately, like, he didn't say there are any massive, like, red flags with it, which was what my issue was. I just wanted to make sure that he didn't walk into this property and go, I wouldn't touch that with a barge pole. Is barge pole the word? What is a barge pole? Oh, barge pole. Barge pole because they're long. Anyway, keep looking at the floor. It's so dirty. It's so dirty. The thermostat is so yellow. This is so silly. I also keep looking at a patch of damp in the corner of the room as well. I don't like the word influencer, right? But ultimately, like, that is probably the best thing to describe my job title. And she says that on a YouTube channel with one video. Other platforms are available. Other influencers buy properties and they look so nice. And mine looks like this. Listen, I'm nothing if I'm not realistic. Some of us are breaking generational curses and being the first person to own a property fully in our families. So sometimes they have to look like this. Anyway, how long have I been recording for? 28 minutes. It's not bad. Most of that's going to be cut out because I have rambled. My mum actually didn't like it when she first saw it. My mum did not like it. I don't think my mum wanted me to buy this. And eventually, after a while, actually, she was like, oh, wait, no, actually, I do like it. And I was like, yeah, girl. There was a question around who owned the building, which I didn't know about. There was also some questions around the roof and stuff like that, and which we wanted to get sorted beforehand. But once those things kind of got ironed out, she was more on board. And she's very on board with it now. She likes it now. Anyway, many months passed. You know, solicitors this, solicitors that. Deposit this, deposit that, mortgage this, mortgage that, and then somebody let me purchase this property. I'm struggling to grasp. I came here yesterday for the first time, and just like to get my keys, and there were some people waiting for me, like building management, like representatives and like the estate agent and stuff like that, to be like, welcome. They kept shaking my hand. I was like, what are you shaking my hand for? So funny. And they let me buy it. And I just can't really get my head around that. I can't really get my head around that. Can I touch the door frame? Yeah, just. Can I touch the ceiling, do you think? Oh, no. That's ADHD if I've ever seen it, midway through the video trying to touch the ceiling. My hopes, my dreams, my life work, here right now, with you. I don't want to get too, like, oh, this is my life stream. Oh, owning a property is like everything I've ever wanted. Don't want to go into that corner because there's damp there. What's that? Why have you got a hook there? What have you possibly hung there that you would need a hook? Anyway, I'm back. Somebody said to me recently, do you not get annoyed at the fact that what you've paid for a property in London that looks like this, you could get like a really nice house for in other parts of the country that is like done and nice? And actually no, because I grew up in London, I was born in London. I think that people who are from London and want to stay in London should get like a 10% discount on properties, at the very least. I was so determined and have been my entire life to not be priced out of this place. And yes, it's expensive. Yes, if I looked at what this property price could get me in somewhere else, is it annoying? Not really, to be honest, because it's not London. It's not London. It's not the place that I am. It's not the street that I'm on. It's not where I want to be. I remember I made a couple of TikToks when I was looking at properties, and people would say, just move out of London. No, my family is here. My family is here. My life is here. Why would I do that? I shouldn't have to. I believe if you were born in a London hospital, you should get a discount on properties. And I don't mean like shared ownership, how they make you maybe from the area or something like that. Like, I just think automatic, stamp duty's free, 10% discount. Let's talk about that, lawmakers. So what's the plan then, Maria, as you stand in this property? I obviously don't live here. This to me is inhabitable. And you might think, this looks fine. You haven't seen the kitchen and the bathroom. It's not fine. What is the plan? Well, the plan is today I'm gonna hoover because there's a lot of debris on this carpet. It's disgusting. Friend is gonna come over, we're gonna do some hoovering and we're gonna sort some stuff out, and I'm gonna be like, you know, filming that for TikTok or whatever. This is my house, which I own, with money that I bought. No, I didn't buy the money. I bought the house with the money. Do you wanna see something? Shall I give you something? Do you wanna see something? I'll show you what this carpet looks like, because you're gonna go, oh my God. Is that everything I wanted to say? This is my dream. I own a house, I own a flat in London. Yay. Currently horrible, but it will look nice once I'm done with it. I'm gonna be hitting up Pinterest big time. I've got loads of ideas. I already know. This is my living room, right? This is my living dining room. Separate kitchen. I didn't want a kitchen on a wall. I wanted a kitchen. Maybe I'll just show you this room. I'll show you this room. Okay, I'll show you this room. This is what I'm currently dealing with, right? All of the floors look like this. They are horrible. Oh, get rid. It's a really big room, but I don't think you'll be able to tell because like there's more of it over here as well. My kitchen's over there. I'm gonna put a TV there. I'm gonna put a coffee table there. I'm gonna put a sofa there, and then like this is gonna be my dining area. One moment, please. This is my damp. Do you like this? I don't. This is my door, which doesn't meet safety standards, and then this is my floor, which I think has some wooden flooring underneath. I think that's it from me for now. This is going to be the worst YouTube video on the planet of YouTube videos. There is no planet of YouTube videos. I've probably been squinting and looking weird in the whole thing because it's so bright. Actually, it's just, oh, thank you. The sun's just gone in. I don't even know what this video is. I thought that I would like be able to like coherently talk, but I can't. I can't do that because I have so many thoughts. How you doing? So I'm just going to my kitchen. My kitchen in the house that I own, with the money that I bought from the songs that I wrote, except I didn't write any songs, from the TikToks that I made. Oh God. If you like house renovation, oh my God, I forgot to say, Homes Under the Hammer. I didn't buy this at auction. Oh my God, put me on the show. No, I haven't even thought about this. Homes, my hands smell weird from, I think, the door. Homes Under the Hammer, I've been watching Homes Under the Hammer since I was like 12 years old. I love it. I love that show. I miss my OGs, Martin and Kirsty, I believe they were. I've been watching that for years. I've been watching Homes Under the Hammer for years, and it has literally been my life's dream to renovate a property. I didn't think it would be the property that I would live in. I thought that I would buy it as an investment, renovate it, sell it on. That's what I always wanted to do since I was a teenager. I've kind of ended up doing that, but just in the one that I will live in. We shall see. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I don't know if I'm gonna be good at it, but it's been my dream for my whole entire life, and I'm here now. So I'm not taking it seriously. I'm not taking it in. Obviously. I'm not taking it in, I don't think. Does anyone know where I can buy a bathroom?